Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Monsters Unleashed. Step in. Stand hard. No turning back. Monster Mike hits the front line, cutting through the dark. Boots hitting the ground like he's calling something out. If the night wants to move, it moves through him first. He wants answers, and he takes them. We move in. No fear. Eyes sharp, heart steady. We walk the dark, we hunt the unseen. We stand together and push through anything. This is the team, this is the fight. This is Monsters Unleashed. Come in tonight. Trisha hits the right flank, silent and locked in. She feels the forest breathe, hears a shift before it breaks. One glance and she knows when something's watching. Doug pushes forward like he owns the trail. Strong stride, no pause. If something's waiting, he's the one in me. We walk the dark, we hunt the unseen. We stand together and push through anything. This is the team, this is the fight. This is Monsters Unleashed, pulling the night in tighter.
We're the best there is, and I'm telling you, yes, I'm excited. Woo!
Woo, there we are again. Hello, Trisha.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It has been a busy day multitasking tonight.
Yeah, working like hell to get to that LBL tomorrow, ain't you?
Yeah.
She busted the radiator in her Jeep, and it's about to kill her.
I didn't bust it. It's just a typical Jeep thing. If you have a Jeep, you understand.
Yeah,
Always got to
absolutely.
replace something. Jeeps
Yeah.
stands for Jeeps emptying every pocket.
Yeah. Well, mentioning you said you always got to replace something. Let's bring Andy out.
Hey, I'm irreplaceable.
Now you always have to work on that truck of yours too.
No, I don't either.
Found on the road dead, first on race day, whatever.
Goes to the LBL every weekend.
It does, for sure.
It'll get you where you're going as long as you don't have to push it uphill. So anyways, let's go ahead and bring everybody else out because we've got a good guest tonight, and I want to get him on here. I know we were a little late getting started. Jerry was having some technical difficulties, and I don't know, Jerry. I had this picture up here for Jen, but I might have to put it on you. But anyways, so let's see. Speaking of Jen, let's bring Miss Jen out. Hello,
Hi.
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Man.
Doing great. How was your week, Jen?
Yeah, it was hectic.
Hectic.
Busy, yes.
Yeah, you had a big show last night, didn't you?
Oh, I did, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I heard you did well. Heard you did real well. People go back and tell me when you do well and stuff, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, people brag on you and everything. And, you know, of course, well, I was going to bring out Miss Donna, but hers just did the miraculous disappearing act again. So we'll go ahead and bring out our guest tonight. Tonight, our guest is Mr. Jerry Millwood. I know I don't have to tell you who he is. Jerry's been doing this for a while. He's pretty big in this field, and he's a great person. He really is. You couldn't ask for a better guy,
Yeah.
and a truthful guy too. You can put it in the bank. If Jerry told you something, then it's the God's honest truth.
Mhm.
And I stake my reputation on that because he's not the kind of guy that would try to pull one over on you. He's absolutely not. He's just like Tim Deals. Tim's a stand-up guy too. So, needless to say, here's Jerry. Here's Jerry.
Good, Michael, Tricia, Andy. Good to see y'all again, and Jennifer. But this is the first time we've actually met. I feel like I already know you because I
Right.
follow you on Facebook and watch your stuff. So good to
Yep,
see
same.
everybody. I
Good
love
to
you
see
all.
Yeah, we love you too, Jerry.
Love you too.
Jerry.
Yep, sure. Yeah, you're getting ready to be on Jen's show too. Creepy Culture. She's got a good show, Jerry. You're going to enjoy it. She really does. I liked her show so well. That's why we asked her to come on our team here too and help us co-host. So,
Awesome.
plus helps her give more experience for her show, and she's going to pass us here pretty soon.
No,
But
my
anyways,
technical difficulties.
Jerry, I kind of scalped you from another show there just a while ago. I didn't mean to. I wasn't coming in there to seem pushy or anything, but I was trying to be pushy because I knew that knowing our show, we always have some kind of technical difficulty every week, never fails. I mean, we even demonic people talking on our show. I mean, it's just crazy, dude. It's
Wow.
crazy. I don't know if you've seen that one or not, but we've got a YouTube clip on it, and this chick was talking demonic. So we was up here like this, But yeah, Jerry, I would say for you to tell us a little bit about you, but I believe you're pretty well known across this whole field. I mean, I've heard your name come out of a lot of people's mouths, and you've done a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. I've grown to respect you and what you say. It's what I was saying a while ago. If Jerry tells you something, you can take it to the bank. It's happened. It's happened to him. If he tells you it's personally happened to him, then it's happened.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But Jerry, tell us a little bit about your history. You were in the military and all that stuff. Not a lot of people know these things about you. So tell us a few things that you don't normally talk about.
Okay. Well, born and raised in the western half of North Carolina, just before the foothills start, in the Piedmont, North Carolina, a place called Gaston County. Although I had plenty of my ancestors who had come out of these foothills and mountains to go to work in textile mills. But I grew up in the country. The kids, the woods were that was my playground. I didn't go to a playground other than when I played baseball. I was in the woods. That was my thing. And all of my friends, we spent tremendous amounts of time in the woods from the time I was a little bitty fellow, when my dad or my grandfather take me out there, and that became my thing. The woods are my place. Went in the Army, in active duty in the Army in 1985, and then got out and went straight into the North Carolina Army National Guard, and I stayed there until 2003. I got out. I retired from the state of North Carolina, retired when I was 50 years old in August of 2017. I moved out of Gaston County and up here to the South Mountains because I had to get out to the country, lest I would lose my mind. I couldn't take it anymore. That place was growing and getting just to be just a bedroom community for Charlotte. And I told my wife a number of years ago, I said, we're getting out. And God blessed us with a wonderful location. We found just the right place at just the right time at just the right price. And I'm surrounded by wilderness. So from day one, I've been in hog heaven here. I had no idea as to the things that we would experience around here, but I'm glad they've happened. And I'm glad that I finally got up the nerve to talk about it publicly.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I seen you were airborne, weren't you?
I was.
Yep. Airborne. And, that's got to be awesome, dude. I couldn't imagine jumping out of airplanes and stuff like that into anywhere. Now you were active. Were you in during wartime?
I was in from 85, 4 years, and we spent a lot of our time in Central America.
Yeah,
There were a lot of things going on in Central America, and a lot of things up to and kind of culminated in the invasion of Panama.
a lot of stuff going on in Central America now too.
There is.
I seen that today and everything where the military went in last night and took captives,
They
basically.
snatched and grabbed.
Yep, snatched and grabbed. And yeah, I mean it happens. It happens. Hey, I did want to mention though that tonight's show is sponsored by Strange Knox magazine. We're going to be in this coming month's episode. So you can go to strangeknox.com and check them out. You can order the magazines on there. They're like $10 plus shipping. And then we're going to have every episode, we're going to have an article in that magazine. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I know that it's no stranger to you too, Jerry. You've seen it before.
Great magazine, and Gwen is just an awesome person. I'm glad I finally got to meet her.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we're going to be also in West Virginia for the West Virginia Bigfoot Festival, October 9th through the 12th, too. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Jerry, I invite you to come up there. Well, I mean, I know it's a pretty good drive for you, but man, we went last year, just to go and check the place out. And it was amazing, dude. That place is huge. So they even have monster trucks out there. They ride people around in and stuff.
It sounds like it's going to be even bigger this year too. New location, more room for more vendors and speakers. So I'm pretty excited for it. Plus, it's close to my hometown of West Virginia, so that makes it even more exciting.
Oh, I know what's wrong with Donna. She ain't got the new link. Let me send her the new link here real quick. Donna Copus, she's like, it won't connect. Let's see here. All right, she'll be back in now. Donna was with us and she just disappeared. But you were just on Dave Bruce's show. I caught the ending of that and everything. I asked you a question in that, and I didn't mean it to sound like something smart assed or something like that. But I was curious. I've always been curious. I wonder if Sasquatch actually do poop in the woods. I mean, I know it's a big thing. Does a bear shit in the woods? But I have found bear feces in the woods before. You very seldom ever find they've been piled up on somebody's feeder. But I just wonder if they actually do it in the woods, if they do it in streams or lakes or ponds or something like that, so it dissipates. I mean, or if they're like gorillas and they just eat it. I know it sounds nasty. I'm sorry, people, but I mean, it's a valid question.
I have an eyewitness account that relates to that, and I haven't even done an episode involving my witness, but she lives butted up against a large tract of wilderness, and she surprised. She feels like that she came out of her house and surprised one while it was in the act of pooping. It didn't run, but it walked off and left a giant pile of feces. She said it was bigger than a cat. It was bigger. It wasn't like a cow pie. It was more like human, except it was supersized.
Oh wow! Tell her I gave her $100 for that bird if she still got it.
Well, I asked her. I said, "What did you do?" She said, "Well, I didn't mess with it." I said, "I wish you'd have known me then, because I would have come and got it."
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I drove cross country to get that.
Absolutely.
And I had pardon myself. I've got a head cold from hell. It's been bad. I've drank like 2 bottles of Dayquil and took sinus medications and freaking Flonase and everything, and it just ain't letting up. Just ain't letting up. But Jerry, I heard you. Did y'all have y'all's Sasquatch recon thing up at off of your property here? I knew you were getting ready to have something with those guys.
We had people we had Bob and one of Bob's friends, and Tim Dills came, and of course me and Todd Landers, who was the newest member of NCI. Todd grew up with me, and he's been one of my right hand people. Anytime I needed somebody to go with me on some kind of investigation, and it was too far for the rest of them to drive, or it was just last minute, always been there for me. And so Todd was there. Brian King Sharp of Sasquatch Odyssey came. And so I just took them out in the woods in my immediate area and kind of familiarized them. And I showed them the spots of some of the more significant sightings and experiences. And then we drove to the area where we have an active investigation that's ongoing, and just kind of did a recon. And the next step, whoever wants to do it, we're going to do a big nighttime investigation at the investigation site, because it's a very promising area. And witnesses just contacted me a couple days ago, and they found more prints. Fortunately, that's real close to my house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I had some stuff going on close to my house, but I don't. I live up here next to Hanging Rock State Park, and there's been like 1 or 2 Sasquatch sightings in that. That was way back when. So, plus it's so steep up in there, and I'm a fat guy. There ain't no way I can climb around up in there. So, but I am planning on coming down there around the Black Mountains, and going in there around that Black Mountain River Basin and stuff, and going up through that trail through there. We have a new member also. Her name's Adrian. She's out in the field right now. She's been doing a lot of work over at Medoc State Park. Have you ever been over there? Man, there's a lot of stuff going on over in Medoc right now too. And actually the guy that runs that Sasquatch museum over here in North Carolina that's involved in that, he's been doing a lot of investigation there at Medoc. So I want to get in on that. But so yeah, I mean, so that's the only thing you got new going on right now, Jerry?
I'm fortunate enough to be in an area where I can always be in the woods just about any time. And if I say I've got something new going, I've got different areas that I'm wanting to go to. I went yesterday to an area that I hadn't been to for a couple years, and I took Santa Claus with me. I actually took a professional Santa Claus. He wanted to go squatching, and I took him into the area and for a daytime recon. Most of our activity here is at night, but of course in the daytime we're looking for prints, we're looking for structures, we're looking for hair, or whatever. But we got some vocalizations yesterday.
Oh, you did?
So
that's awesome.
We got a lot of things. NCI's got a lot of things coming up this year, and Sasquatch Recon does as well. I'm members of both. So many things going. I couldn't sit here and tell you all of them. Conferences and festivals and this, that, and other. But I'm ready. Hey, Mark, my man Mark. I love that dude. I love all of you. Everybody that I met at the LBL, y'all made such a lasting impact.
Yeah, I really enjoyed sitting there at that picnic table talking to you, and you picking that long strand of hair off my beanie. Still don't know where it came from. I still have it. It's over here beside me.
There's a question for us. We do have some night vision stuff. It's some cheaper stuff. We have a lot of good thermal though, and we try to use a lot of just our natural night vision in the woods at night, and then plus if we hear something, then we use thermal and stuff like that. Plus we got some bright ass flashlights too. So, but the night vision is really nice to have, but it's really expensive. And unless y'all can get me partnered on YouTube, we ain't gonna have any real good night vision for a little while. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Hey there, Tracy. Miss Tracy's in the chat. But yeah, Jerry, man, I've been itching to get out into the woods with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for you to come.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it planned out. I got so much stuff going on. I plan on making a little trip next month, and to an undisclosed location, and do some undisclosed things with some undisclosed breweries. If anybody knows what that means. But Donna, let's see here. There we go, Donna. It finally lets you in. And is your voice working, Donna?
Can you? I don't.
Yeah.
Am I-
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
me?
I can hear.
It just took a second to pick you up.
Yeah.
But so in my book, I wrote a little bit about Dobby, and as far as I'm concerned, Jerry, I think you know more about Dobby than anybody living. I really do. You've done some research. You've put in a lot of footwork on that. And if anybody doesn't know who Dobby is, could you fill them in?
Nobby is the name that
Nobby, yeah.
we give Bigfoot in the South Mountains area. It hasn't always been what the name for the South Mountains Sasquatches. That came about in late 1978, early 1979, when a reporter named Robert Williams, writing for the Charlotte Observer, was during that time period, there was a boatload of sightings in this area. And so he was doing articles on it. And the first major, or let me say it this way, the first most well-reported sighting was by a lady named Minnie Cook. And she lived near a place called Carpenter's Knob. And somehow Mr. Williams, the reporter, came up with Nobby and used that in his article, and it stuck, and it replaced the other names. And that's where the word Nobby came from. But a lot of people think that's been the only time in the history of the South Mountains where we've had this cryptid activity, which is completely and totally untrue. There were plenty of history prior to that, and certainly plenty of encounters since then. It's just been a matter of getting out there and talking to people, making contacts, gaining the trust of some folks, getting help from a lot of folks. It took a little bit. I was researching every newspaper article that I could find, researching every internet article. Finally, a friend of mine, Dwight Campbell, he's in Sasquatch Recon. Dwight came across an old documentary that's on the internet, and a fellow from Tennessee came and shot the documentary here in Kaiser, North Carolina, in 1980. There was some witnesses that I desperately wanted to talk to, but couldn't because they were dead. But lo and behold, two of the main witnesses that I really wished I could have talked to were interviewed in that documentary. So that helped me finish off the project. It was about a year-long project of working on it when I could, and researching and waiting for folks to open up to me. And then finally I got that documentary, and then I did a couple of YouTube I did YouTube and TikTok episodes. And through those episodes, I had a few more witnesses reach out to me from that time period. And it was an incredible time for this area. It was an incredible time for any area. As far as there was, at least by my estimation, 36 sightings in a period of about 60 days, not counting the encounters that happened, earlier in 78 and later in 79, but just during that really hot time period, around 36 sightings.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, Jerry, but it didn't only make local news; it made like national news and stuff back then. And it took something back then to make national news. Like you had to shoot the president or something, and but it made national news, and that's a big thing. That says a lot right there.
It hit the AP wire back then, and I remember as a kid, although I lived about 45 minutes from the South Mountains. I remember it being big news where I grew up. And I just had no idea how extensive it was and how much the news didn't talk about, if that makes sense. And There's of course, plenty of skeptics who say they've got the answers and all of that. But that was an extraordinary time period. And when I finally get my book finished, a huge part of my book will be dedicated to that time period in the South Mountains of North Carolina.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to read your book on it because I just touched it in my book, but I'm really interested in seeing it. Hey, we got a question from Mark there. He says, Jerry, do you get dogman reports in your area?
Until this past spring, I had really not given any thought to dogman existing in this area. As a matter of fact, I really didn't know much about dogman until I started studying this summer. I didn't even know there was a dogman until I guess my first episode that I did with the NCI team back when I joined them in November of 2024. So some of our expeditions we've done, we found the killing fields where deer have been killed, and there's obvious hunting techniques involved. It's been suggested by more than one person who knows what we're talking about. They could have very well been dogman kills. Now, there's evidence that during that 1978 to 1979 period here in the South Mountains, that there, in addition to Bigfoot sightings, that there was also a dogman who was lurking about. They found tracks in January of 79, and they cast the tracks. And on the documentary that I talked about, they actually showed one of the casts from the print, and it sure seems like a dogman to me. I've heard howls that at the time I just thought had to be a Bigfoot, but after learning the things that I've learned and hearing folks talk about it and studying on it, I think that what we might hear here is the dogman howls. Very powerful howls that carry long distances. Very scary sound.
Yeah. We've heard some pretty scary sounding ones ourselves. Ain't that right, Andy?
Sir.
Yep. You know, a lot of times also people say there's dogmen in the area, and honestly, I think a lot of the times it's a misidentified Sasquatch. You know, they don't all look the same and everything.
They don't.
They've got, you know, they just look just like, you know, dogs basically. You get a dog that you get a dog. There's all different breeds and different sizes and stuff like that. And I feel that Sasquatches are the same. Like there's a picture that's floating around the internet. I know you've probably seen this one right here that says, if you know your Sasquatch sighting, can you choose which one that it looked like and stuff? I've seen that number 16 one in the woods several times, and he's always just right in front of me, but I never can really catch up to him. Mr. Mark. That's right.
There's one thing that I neglected to mention because I think I'm getting old and forgetful, but there was an account in 1979. A lady by the name of Argel Knight was riding down the road 10 o'clock in the morning, and she spotted what she thought at first was a big dog. As she got closer, it became apparent that it was tremendously bigger than your average dog. And as she drove by the creature, she said it stayed on all fours, but it was looking down into the car at her, as opposed to looking in. It was looking down and into the car. Ew. So, you know, that sounds like it is what it is to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you know, let me see. Let me put this picture right here back up. Well, let me put the more serious one up here, because we've got some people in here that's had sightings, and I just recently had a sighting myself. I don't know if I told you that or not, Jerry. I think I did share it on the NCI show that when I was in the LBL, I actually saw a Sasquatch in Russian Creek Campground, and Mr. Mark Roberts was with us. He didn't see it. I couldn't get my camera on in time because I was there. I turned my camera off and was shooting the shit with Mark. He's trying to leave, so you know it's hard to leave for me when I start talking. But he's trying to leave, and I get movement out of the corner of my eye. We lost Donna again. Oh, nope, she's back.
Sorry, my dog tried to attack me.
But I get moving out of the corner of my eye, and I just happen to look, and I see something black walking through the woods. And I honestly thought it was Trisha at the time, because Trisha had a black hoodie on and stuff. And when I seen it, I just glanced at it, and then I look back, and I look at Doug, her husband, and I'm like, what's Trisha doing walking down here in the woods by herself? Because our rule is you don't go anywhere by yourself.
Right.
And the only ones allowed to break that rule is me. And that's because I
He
don't
does
get
it all the time.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I have my different ways of doing things. But anyways, and he's like, Doug's like, Trisha went with Cindy, my wife, Cindy, down the road. And I'm like, well, what the hell is that? And we turn, and I don't see it. And I'm like, I think it was a Sasquatch. And we start going down that way, and Mark gets up in front of us, and Mark, and he's in chat here, he'll tell you, he heard something go over the hill crashing through the weeds. And it wasn't a deer. It was heavy, whatever it was. So, oh, hello there, beyond the box. But, so Mark had to leave. I paralleled it on the road going down through, and I'm looking in this, it was down in this big swag, and I'm watching. At one point I seen something black by this tree, and I tried to get my camera to zoom in, but the freaking iPhones, I mean, I was filming with an iPhone, and you just can't get it to zoom in that far. And I lost it, and I never seen it again. Well, Trisha was about a quarter mile down from me, and her husband was running to her. And I'm fat. If I don't run, okay? If you see me running, you better run too, because something's after me. But I'm walking, and I'm looking, I'm stopping and looking, because I walk 25, 30 feet, and I stop. And I look all around and all that stuff, and I pace myself like that through the woods. That's how I do. And squirrel hunting techniques, you got to be really quiet to kill squirrels. But anyways, so Trisha smells this thing. She smells something. And Trisha said that it was a sulfur metallic. It left like a metallic taste in her mouth. And her and Cindy were back like Charlie's Angels down there, And Trisha's down there praying. She's praying.
Not to interrupt you, whatever it was, it like hurt my teeth. Like nerve pain, like they say, like when you smell it and interfere with your teeth or hurt your teeth. It was kind of like that. It didn't like make me sick. It just made me like nauseous. So I started popping in Mentos to kind of help.
The funny thing of it is, my wife smelled something totally different. She said she thought she smelled pumpkin spice, which is weird. Yeah. I mean, you leave it up to a white chick to smell pumpkin spice in the woods. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, her smell may not be as sensitive as Trisha's or something. But, so I get down to them, and there's no evidence of it anywhere. And we move down a little bit, and the road splits. And I said, well, we need to go to the left. So we start walking in there, and me and Trisha both at the same time seen movement on top of the ridge up above us. Mm-hmm. And we're both saying there's something moving up there. So I start paralleling it with my camera, trying to get video and all this stuff. And I'm telling you, there's a freaking nest in this tree. I seen this tree that has big freaking pieces of trees up inside of it. And it's not from trees falling over into it. And I plan on going back in there, and I'm going to take Mark into that area so he can see that for himself. But we're looking, and I have a video of it, and I seen it move its head out from beside the tree and look, and it went back like this. And I zoom in on it, and it sticks its head back out, and I tell everybody, I said, gather up. And Trisha's like, well, I ain't worried about what's up there. I said, you better worry about what's up there. But I got video of it, and let's see, I got that picture, I think, on here too, still. And I know I've showed this picture a lot, but when you have something like right there, And right there, you see there's two different features to that. I know that I moved a little, that's the wrong damn picture, but I know I moved a little bit, but it was like sticking out there. It was weird, and we saw it move, and on the video you can see it move, but the camera, I'm nervous, and the camera's going like this, so you really got to be up close and watching it to see it turn its head in the video. It happens so fast. But I don't know, man. I mean, I know that that's our story. That's what I see. And no one can tell me on this planet that that's not what I saw that day.
When it really grabbed my attention, it looked like it was playing peekaboo behind the tree. Like it was, like, and then come back in and then back out like that. And then he got that video, and we kind of lost sight of it after that. But then, like, after we just looked at each other, just standing there talking about it, everything got quiet. We had perfect, like, eye contact to one another, just me and him. And we're like, I think we need to go. Something just told us to look at each other and just
at the same exact time. I mean, you still owe me a Coke. You still owe me a Coke for that, by the way, Tricia.
Well, I'm drinking it right now.
We've been doing that quite a lot here lately, though. Thinking the same things. It's kind of weird. She'll be in Kentucky, and she'll send me a message, and I'll be like, "Well, that's what I was just talking about," you know. And we were thinking,
"Get out of my head, Dad. Get out of my head."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're tuned in with me, I mean, Tricia? What's it feel like to be tuned into a genius?
Creepy.
I wouldn't call it like a genius, but
yeah, it's kind of
scary a little bit. I might have to cleanse myself.
You might need an exorcism.
Probably. That's a better word, an exorcism.
Jerry, did you notice the beard's all gone?
I did.
Man, it was a sad day.
Was it?
I went to trim, and I got my sideburn. I took about 1 inch of my sideburn on it. I don't know. I was shaky that day, and I took about 1 inch of my sideburn, and there wasn't no straightening it up, and I wasn't going to look like one of these Amish dudes with the chops, you know. So, nope, I just shaved it all off, except my goatee.
Yeah, I've been there, brother. I've accidentally shaved. During the winter, I keep a beard because it's warmer. But yeah. I did that a couple of times in my life. I'm ashamed of myself.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like it, so I'm letting it grow back. So it'll take a little bit. I've been growing it since September. And I normally grow one during the wintertime too for hunting and all that stuff. It's a little warmer. But
sure.
But yeah, so that's our story on the one that I seen there, Jerry. And I know that you've had some weird stuff go off of, like you were talking about one time you took your wife down in this one area down below your house and everything, and the rock. If you don't mind telling us about that.
Sure. Yeah, she likes to do what we call creek walking. Of course, it has to be warm weather. She ain't going in them woods in the cold or nothing. But we go by the cheap water shoes at Dollar General, wherever, and we get into Ward's Creek, and we'll walk in one direction or the other. And I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to go further south on Ward's Creek because we had found the new killing field out there where they had been killing and consuming the deer. And so we this was the first weekend of August in 2024. Everything went great, and we reached the point wasn't able to go any further because you know how the storms will do a creek in the foothills of the mountains. It had created a giant log jam. And she said, I'm not going through there because there's spiders in there. I said, all right, we'll turn around and go back. So we started our trip back, and we stopped to rest. And this might surprise you, Michael, but sometimes I like to aggravate my wife.
That's a given for me too.
She hates for me to do tree knocks, and she hates for me to do calls and hoots because she says, you're going to call something in on us one of these days. Well, that day, I just, attention deficit hyperactive disorder me. I just grabbed a dead piece of wood out of the water and I whacked on a tree just to aggravate her. And I was already starting to laugh. Immediately, I had an answer to our right. No more than 50 feet or so into the foliage, maybe 100 feet at the most. And it had picked up something off the forest floor, and I envisioned some kind of dead log or something. And when it hit the tree with it, I heard the piece of wood break. And immediately after that one, to our left on the opposite side of the creek, there was an answer line. And I convinced my wife, I said, all right, let's just take a knee right here on the sandbar and listen and watch. And she was all about that. Nothing else happened. So we got up and started walking there. Maybe 5 minutes later, just out of the clear blue from our left, came a piece of quartz, a little bit smaller than a softball, a little bit bigger than a baseball, and it cleared her head just by a couple of inches and splashed water next to us. I had seen 2 other rock throwing incidents before, but that was a close call. My buddy Todd Landers almost got hit by one back in I believe it was November 2021, but that was night, and you couldn't see a whole lot. That was daytime. I saw the rock come in, and I tried to talk her into, okay, let's do the same thing. Let's just stop and listen and observe. And she said, "You can stay here, you idiot, if you want to, but I'm out." And she was going up that creek, and it looked like she was water skiing without a boat pulling her.
Yeah, she was moving.
She was moving, and I told her, I said, if that creature wanted to hit you, it would have hit you.
Yeah.
I didn't like it that it almost hit me.
I want to so much ask you to tell us a story about your little dog, but I want you to save some good stories for Jen's show because you're going to be doing Jen. And I don't want to take all the show, all the stories and all that stuff, as much as I love hearing the story about your dog. So please, when you do Jen's show, if you would ask him to tell the story about his dog.
Okay.
And you can see it on Creepy Culture. And, and you can look her up. I'll put her link in the thing here. But, I guess I don't have it, do I? Yeah, do I? Yeah, I do. But, let's see. There was something else I wanted to ask you too, Jerry. Now, did you go with the boys? You went to the South Carolina Bigfoot Festival with the NCI. Now, was you with them with that night investigation when they went up in the woods? And you wasn't?
Unfortunately, I was not with them. Nancy went down. That was her first ever Bigfoot Festival. And so she went with me. But we had to get back home. Since both of us had gone on the trip, we had to hurry up and get back home to feed all of these dogs and animals that we had, or else I'd have been there. And man, I missed it. That was an incredible night for those folks.
Yeah, I'll have to get one of those guys on here to tell the story. But yeah, I seen pictures on Facebook where you were feeding your dogs. You said this is what feeding time looks like at the Millwood house, and you had like 20 bowls up there on the cabinet. Everything. I'm like, damn, Jerry, how many dogs do you freaking have? And I don't know. Are you raising like Alaska Malamutes or sled dogs or anything like that?
Well, I'm an animal lover, but Nancy, my wife, even more so. And then a couple of years ago, even though she's a retired cop, but she got a part-time job at an animal hospital. Well, do I need to tell you how that went?
No, you don't have to say another word. Hey, look, I'm a sucker for picking up animals too, and I don't know if my wife's watching right now or not, but here not long ago, it's been about 4 months or so ago, 5 months. I come home. I went to the scrapyard to take in a bunch of copper and stuff like that, that I had, and I went there and I went to the pay window, to get my money, and there was this little orange and white kitten laying on this bench, and it looked bad. It looked really bad. It was just a skinny freaking mess. And I looked at that guy. I said, "You don't need any more cats, do you?" He's like, "Buddy," he said, "that little kitten," he says, "take it home with you." He said, "Its mama and its other sibling got ran over out here yesterday.
Aw.
And he's like, and this cat won't last long. And I'm thinking, well, won't you just take it home, you know? But so I'm like, well, I said, listen, I come dragging that thing in. My wife's going to kill me. You want to be responsible for that? And he laughed. So as he's handing me my money, I just look down at that thing and I just scoop it up. And I get in the car and my son's with me and I'm like, Mom's going to kill me. And so I come in the house and she's in the back room and I sneak back through there and I open the door and I go in and she's in the back bathroom and I sit there on the bed and she comes out and I have this little orange kitten holding it up. And once she's seen it, then her heart melted, you know. Mm-hmm. I have to say, we gave the cat to my son, my oldest son, and the cat is an asshole. He's an adolescent cat now. So he thinks that he rules the roost. He beats up our other two cats. I mean, they hide from him because they see him walk through the room and they just gone because they know that he's about to pounce them. So, and then he wakes me up every morning at the same time. He's ready for his treats. He will go on the stairs and meow until you get up and go upstairs and give him treats. So he's spoiled too. He jumped up on my back here the other night. But yeah, he's a spoiled cat, and it's my son's fault. My son babies him.
I apologize. I keep coming in and out. I'm replacing me and your favorite aviation guy for replacing a radiator in our Jeep, and it's being a pain in the butt. It's a heavy-duty radiator, and it's causing a lot of complications.
You tell my favorite aviation guy that I said hello.
I will. Right now, he's out there throwing tools, so I'll give him a little bit.
It's a good damn thing that he's an aviation guy because he'd not last 10 fucking minutes in the motor pool.
No, correction. He does last more than 10 minutes in a motor pool, just on Army vehicles, which I don't understand.
That's when he drives it in for an oil change.
Probably. Yeah, probably. He's the guy.
He does the best of his ability. Is he getting it in, Trisha?
Yeah, but when I say this is a heavy-duty one and it's bigger. So now the issue is the what's it called? The reservoir, the tubing that comes from the reservoir hooks to the radiator right there by the cat. It ain't fitting because there's no room.
Well, you can run by Advanced Auto in the morning and grab a piece of hose and put on that. So
yeah, that's what we were just talking about though, and I had to hold that.
Yeah.
Whatever breather box so he could get it bolted in. I'm almost ready to trade my Jeep in. I love it, but I'm about ready to trade it in. Get me a truck.
So her Jeep had the stock single core radiator on it, and like her radiator busted, and it's the cheap aluminum one with the plastic sides, you know, and those things ain't worth the crap anyways. So I found the 3-core all aluminum radiator that's supposed to be a direct replacement. Well, you know, that doesn't always work, but they're getting it sorted.
It's just a lot bigger.
Yeah,
a lot bigger.
Which will be good if trumping through the woods and out there in the LBL, there's a lot of mud and stuff like that. And if you get stuck up, you don't want to be overheating that thing. It's good to have that extra cooling and everything. Yeah. Plus, she drives that thing. She travels in it. She drives all around. I mean, every time she comes into West Virginia, she's like 9 or 10 hour drive.
Nice. You leave Sasquatch alone. I like showing Sasquatch off.
Huh? Who are you talking to?
You leave Sasquatch alone. I know next thing you're gonna say is, well, if you're gonna be traveling, you probably shouldn't have that lifted Jeep.
Well, I have said that, but I mean, you know, it's hard. It's hard traveling with a lifted vehicle. It really is. It's really hard on them. I mean, that thing's got 35s on it, and it's got a V6 in it, so it's really hard on the motors. But hey, Jerry, did you happen to? I don't know if you've seen or not. Did you see the footprint that Trisha found there in the LBL?
Yes.
You did that. This one here.
incredible.
That's got to be the best print ever.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I did it with a shovel, guys. Let me just go ahead and throw that in there. I took a shovel with my non-artistic skills and made that print.
The shovel.
Oh, yeah.
Let me show you something else, Jerry, you might not have seen. Did you see that? And I'm sorry, chat, that's kind of graphic, I know, but
Wow.
that thing was 7 foot up in a tree.
Yeah.
Let's switch back over to that one. That was kind of graphic. Oh, that one's really graphic.
Yeah, there was no blood. Jerry, there was no blood on that tree. There was no blood on that animal. There was no blood on the ground. And there was a flattened path, something rather wide, walking up in there to that tree. I've talked to a few people about it, and a few have said that it could have been like a sacrifice, and that could be, but there would have been some blood there if that was the case.
So, Jerry, get your spectacles on again. I know that you got your glasses here. Get your spectacles on. I want you to see this one. I want you to look at this really close.
Yes, it was a raccoon, Todd.
Can you see that pretty good?
I see a silhouette for sure.
Yeah, a dark. So it was taken from a great distance. But do you see a concave head there?
Yes.
All right. Now what gets me, if you follow that tree up, like right going in an angle up that hill, there's a freaking another one right up in front of it.
Oh,
Yeah, I see that. I see that. Wow.
I know these pictures are, let's see, that's blowed up. There's another one. That's back from it. But you can see the two dark silhouettes going back up in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she blew it up to that. But that's pretty good. They got that down there too.
Yeah, well, we haven't went back and recreated those photos yet, but we will be. So that's the first time that those have been shown on stream.
Yeah, we haven't showed them to anybody, and we haven't went back in because Jerry, we've heard around the block something about our photo stuff, people talking about our photos. Okay, but I'm here to tell you, and we have proof. We have Mark that's been with us. We do not show a photo unless we've went back in and tried to recreate the exact photo from the exact image. I have a whole video where we went in there and spent the day. We spent the whole day in trying to recreate that Dogman photo. Let's see that one there. We spent a whole day in there trying to recreate that photo to get that, and we could not do it. We could not do it. And it's the same thing with this one, with that shadow figure.
Yep.
We tried, and you could not do it. I mean, we've found photos now that turned out not to be anything, but right. we have photos that blob squatches, I'll call them. People call them blob squatches, but I mean, I say this and I'll say it again. If you see a clear Bigfoot photo, most likely it's a fake. Yeah. Somebody's using AI, or that somebody in a suit or something like that. I've yet to see a clear Bigfoot photo that I could stand behind. So this one guy almost fooled me though last week, and I actually sent him a message and asked him to come on the show. And then I started digging into his photo, and I'm like, no, that's not legit. So, and I won't say his name because I'm not going to blast him on here, but you know who you are, buddy, if you're watching. You can't fake stuff and try to get recognition for it because the truth comes out. Yeah, you try to fake something, somebody will find you out, and they will expose you. Sure.
And there's a lot of them out there faking. And most of them aren't really squatchers. They're wannabes who want instant fame and instant recognition. And that really pisses me off.
You know what really pisses me off is these shows that get out here that they're 100% fake. And these guys are making a bank off of it. And everybody really knows it's fake. But they just capitalize off of it. And it gives people like you and all of us a bad reputation. Because they see that show and they think same stuff that we have is the same stuff. But I'm here to tell you it's not. It is really not. And you'll find that out when you're in the woods in the middle of the night and you hear that howl or that growl or whatever, and you about crapped your pants. You'll think twice about it being fake.
That's right.
That's when reality hits.
Yep.
Do you happen to have my white booger video on your queue or anything?
No, I don't. I do not. Is it possible you send it to me? If you send it to me on Facebook or whatever, I can throw it right up on here.
Well, it should be in your messenger already because I sent it to you previously.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. My problem is I still use my phone. That's all I've ever used. As of next week, hopefully I'll be transitioned to a laptop finally. But I'm using my phone to talk to you guys, and I don't want to go anywhere. Donna, it's good to see you.
Send it to me.
Hello?
I said, Donna, it's good to see you.
Oh, hi. Oh,
How long ago did you send that to me, Jerry?
Not too awfully long after you and I first met.
Okay, let's see here.
Maybe before we actually met, maybe just when we were communicating before I met you in Marion that day.
I'll go all the way back here. I seen you playing the drums to our music when we were playing our intro video.
That's embarrassing.
I see. I'm looking here.
I got a question for Jerry.
Okay.
When you were in the military, did you see anything weird? Bigfoot, giants, anything crazy? UFOs?
When I was at Fort Bragg, I had been there a year and a half or so, and so by then I wasn't a new guy anymore, and I knew the areas. We went to certain areas of Fort Bragg that not your average units didn't train there, but we had some new guys who hadn't even totally completed their training yet. They were ROTC cadets coming for the summer, and they wanted me to take them into the woods. And I had planned on maybe scaring them or messing with them. And we went maybe a couple kilometers into the woods, and we came across this place where it was not a high cliff, but it was maybe a 8 or 10 foot drop. And at the bottom of that cliff were all these dead animals. And it reminds me, now looking back on it, it reminds me now of the way that we find these areas here in my area of the deer and the dogs and other things that have been killed in concentrated areas. So I almost wonder now if we didn't unknowingly come across a spot, because I believe they have creatures down there. Fort Bragg is a huge place, huge. I believe we came across a killing field where they were bringing the animals to eat them. And then in Central America, there was a special forces captain who was Honduran. Actually, he was Nicaraguan, but he was a Nicaraguan expatriate, and he was in the Honduran special forces, and so he was one of our drinking buddies. And he was telling us stories, and the name escapes me right now of the local word they used to call their Bigfoot. But he told us some pretty cool stories. I didn't get to experience it, but the stories were great.
That's cool. Did you find it yet, Mike? Because if you didn't, I'm about to ask him another question.
I haven't. I found the black and white pictures of the orbs, Jerry, but that's all I see.
Okay.
And I have some audios and stuff that you got off of your property, which, I mean, you get some good stuff down there. I can tell you that. But no, I don't have it. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I should have been prepared for this.
Oh, I should have suggested it. I just thought of it when you were showing me the pictures, and I'm pretty proud of the white booger video.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
Now I'm sad because I wanted to see it.
Me
Well,
too.
I'll send it to everybody when we get done later. And I'm sorry that I'm so backward in technology right now.
It's
But
all
I'm
mine. Don't feel bad.
Yeah,
You're going to run the laptop.
You got to talk about the military bases, Jen, and man, I'm just itching to talk to somebody about some things that I've seen here.
We got to find somebody because there's all
I
kinds
don't
of.
want to do it. I don't want to do it and expose,
Right.
a certain somebody, and that's kind of
Right.
weird things to do.
Mhm.
But I've been seeing some stuff here that ain't right. It's not right at all.
There's a lot of accounts that's come off the military bases. I was just reading one last week before last about the old Myrtle Beach Air Force Base where Air Force Security Patrol guy saw one. He had a roadside encounter across the old dirt road in front of him on the backside of Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. And there's a very good account that happened at Fort Campbell. And if I can remember where I saw that, I will have to send it. My uncle Tom
Please do.
was a provost. He was in the military. He was a provost on Fort Campbell, and he's talked about the wilderness there on Fort Campbell. And there's plenty of it. So where there's plenty of wilderness, there's boogers.
Yeah, I have to get with you and tell you about what all I've been finding here, because it's weird. It's real weird, and but I bet that's the same story that I had read, because I started seeing things here, and I got to digging, and I'm like, man, there's got to be some sort of background story to this, and I come across the one. It's probably the same one that you're talking about. And then I started noticing more things, and I won't say what. I'll just say that I saw something, went back a few weeks later, not there, and the area was fixed. Like, looked brand new. It's weird.
Doing that.
Weird.
I was here talking and y'all couldn't hear me. Yeah, we've got some very interesting stuff that hasn't been released yet. We're working on putting it all together, and some very, very interesting videos of some strange stuff. Orbs, stuff like that. Jerry, you've seen your share of orbs too, right?
It's a fairly big thing in this area.
You ever seen an orb that had a sound with it?
I don't know that I've ever been able to associate at the time a specific sound when we've seen the orbs or when I photographed them. Often they have come real, like they're happening almost simultaneously or shortly before or shortly after some kind of cryptid vocalization or cryptid sighting. The orbs and the Bigfoot, I think, are so interwoven.
Oh, we have one of an orb that comes out from the trees. Comes out, it kind of lingers there for a second, and then it just zips off. And like, you don't hear anything or anything, but when we took it in to slow it down, it emitted a sound. You only hear it. It's on a frequency you only hear when you slow the video down.
Yeah.
So we're working on trying to get that video. We want to get a few people to look at it and everything before we share it. But again, that's like I said, we're not just out here throwing stuff out. We're making sure that we're doing our due diligence.
I can send you the audio if you want to play it.
Oh, you have the audio?
Yeah, I have it on my phone. I've been looking into it.
Oh, okay. Well, just throw it in the drive. I'll get it.
How big are the orbs you guys have been seeing? I've only seen one, and it was like the size of a basketball. How big are the ones you guys see? You and Jerry, Andy?
Baseball size or smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that I just captured in the MV probably about a softball size. It started off real small, like a greenish, yellowish color, almost like a firefly, but it wasn't a firefly, and it just jets out MVD and gets bigger. It was about the size of a softball. I just recently posted that on our TikTok, so it's on there if you guys want to check it out.
Trisha, put that in the audio folder on our drive.
I am. I'm gonna mute myself in case it plays.
Okay.
And I'll throw this in right quick. Here in this area, we don't just experience light phenomena in the way of orbs. We see these strange lights on the ground that the old timers call jack-o'-lantern lights. It's an orange colored. Picture an old school flash bulb going off, except it's orange or orange red, and it usually happens in threes. We see these lights in the trees that aren't orbs, but they're lights. They're like a bright white light. Most recently, myself and Todd Woodbooger Landers, who's in the chat, was at the investigation site doing a nighttime. I'd actually
And they're lit up, but they emit no light, correct?
It's like I don't know. It's very bright, but it doesn't brighten up a large area. It's just very intense.
Right.
But then it was away. Todd woke me up and he said, "Hey man, there's lights in the trees." And sure enough, I think by the time it's said and over with, I saw two. He had saw three previously, and then there was one more before we quit. That was the night shortly thereafter, for the first time in my life, I heard the rock clacking phenomenon. Something taking a rock. I believe it was beating on a big rock laying in the Broad River. And so Todd and I got to listen to that for 10 straight minutes or more, got it on audio. But we also, of course, see the more classic, traditional, like UFO lights in the skies around South Memphis. But the orbs are my favorite.
Let's see here.
What if there's a difference in the orbs, like the ones that we think are maybe like Bigfoot related, and then the ones that are like spirits, orbs? Are they all different, or?
I was told by paranormal folk that different color orbs can mean different color things in as far as spiritual. I photographed green orbs, and I was told that wasn't so good. And you know, if you get a picture of an orb and you enlarge it, you see, like, it's amazing what the inside of an orb looks like.
Okay, so here's that audio. And like I said, playing this video, and we're not going to share the video. We will share the sound. We will eventually share the video. But this is the sound that at 50% it makes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Now,
we said too.
We were standing there, never heard this. Okay, we didn't catch this audio. We didn't catch the red orb until after we started going through Andy's GoPro. Because there was so much going on that night. I was TikTok live that night there by the fire. And before I went live, there was so much. Like, we were just overwhelmed with what was happening. I think Andy and his wife were, because I don't think they really ever experienced anything that night. It was, and I remember when I met you in LBL, the second day I was there, you were telling me about the big splash in the water. Well, we heard that, and you can actually hear it in the video of it, and it's on our YouTube. and it was very loud. It was a very big splash. You cannot tell me it was a fish jumping. If that was a fish, that damn thing had to been the size of a damn alligator to make that damn splash. But
Sounded like someone threw a huge boulder into the water. That's what it sounded like to me.
yeah, it was
And
it
then
was pretty. Shortly after, we got about 4 howls. I believe it was 4 howls. But we never heard that noise. Never heard that noise. Now, when we release the video, you'll see like the red orb. And I've went back and rewatched it, and Doug has rewatched it, and it kind of looks like there's something that jumped in the tree, or it's jumping around in the tree.
Yeah,
But
when you're close up to the screen, you can see that. Like
Yeah.
if you're at your computer screen, when you're close up to it, you can see that out there. And then, like she says, you see something jump, and then that orb comes straight out of a tree. It lingers for a second, then it shoots up in like a 45-degree angle, and that's the noise. We heard nothing. It was dead silent. And when we slowed that down, and we slowed it down to catch a better look at it taking off, and we got that sound. Now, how do you get that sound from nothing? It emitted a sound, and we didn't hear it.
ooh, I guess me chills, man.
And you got to think of infrasound and stuff like that, just, you don't know. But Jerry, I'll show you the video anytime you want to jump into a session and look at it. And so you can see it, because, I don't mind sharing it with you.
Yeah, I'm okay with
But
that,
like-
because Jerry will give us the honest truth about it. If it's nothing, Jerry's going to tell us it's nothing. But if it's something, you're going to tell us.
Yeah. And as I said, we just don't want to throw videos out there and pictures of stuff and videos of stuff and it be something stupid that, we can't prove. And there's no way of recreating that orb. There's absolutely no way of recreating it. It's like Trisha has a video where she's driving in her Jeep, and they're coming out of Carlson Holler, and it's at night. It's when they were in there shooting that movie, and they were going home, and she sees something, and she has Doug back up, and in this video you can see an orb move through the woods really slow and go through a tree and go all the way around. And then there was something standing there. There was an eye shine. And the funny thing of it was, she's recording it. Okay, she's got her phone and recording it. And she looks above her phone and she doesn't see that eye. But when she looks at her phone, she can see it. So we don't know if it's an eye shine or what.
Yeah.
But it's definitely lit up.
Holding the camera like this, and I'm looking over the phone, and I'm pointing it. I'm like, Doug, look right there, upside down, wow, like branch, but there's something glowing in it. When do you get Doug is done. He's like, and I'm like, it's right there. Do you see it? I'm looking at it in the camera, and when I raise my head up to look over the camera, it's not there. So I don't know what it was. It was creepy. And, I've told this to a few people, and it could have been nothing, but it was weird that as we were pulling out onto the trace, it was like something grabbed my rear driver's side tire. Like we felt it. So we got out. After we got out of the LBL, because I was not stopping in the dark after that happened. So we drove on out of the LBL, stopped at the gas station, started looking at the tire. No loose lug nuts. There was no damage to the tire. There was nothing to cause that tire to do that. We ended up having a mechanic look at it too, just to confirm nothing was wrong with it. But it felt like the whole ass end of it. And there's nothing other than the radiator right now. There's nothing wrong with the Jeep. So I don't know what the hell it was. It really creeped me out. And I never did never did see that orb. We backed up, went forward, backed up again. We did that a couple of times just to kind of confirm what we saw, and I never saw it after that. You're muted.
Who's muted?
Which one of those videos was that had that orb in it, Trisha?
Oh man, I don't know. It would have to be. I don't know where it's at, to be honest. It's somewhere in our drive.
Yeah.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you, Jerry, and let you look at it, because it's weird. Overlook me being mean to Doug. It's just when I'm so focused on something and I see something, and then he's just kind of playing dumb, I get aggravated. I'm like, right there, that direction. And then he bumps into me and makes me lose focus. And I'm like, you just bumped into me and made me lose focus. So, but it's crazy. And then I did try to recreate that we just got out of Colson, the one that's on TikTok. I was unable to do that. That one blew my mind. It just starts off so small, and it's like a flickering greenish yellowish color, and then it just goes pretty quick. It goes to like a golf ball size and to like a softball size, right in front of the NG, and I was standing right behind it. So I wasn't looking the direction it came from. I was talking to Andy and his wife because they were over by the water and they thought they saw something. But when I brought the MVG back home and started reviewing footage, there it was.
Well, this is a good opportunity to talk about something real quick. And it's something that the general public really don't understand, and a lot of folks that claim to be squatchers don't understand. It's attention to detail when we're out in the woods. You're not going to have a booger just step out of the woods and show itself. But once in a zillion times. That's happened. I've seen it happen. But it's about attention to detail, especially in the distance. Especially up on high ground in the foliage, watching. They're keeping their eye on us while we're doing it. I believe we were being watched the whole time when we were, I think, watched every minute of the day. But if you don't pay attention to detail and you don't pay attention to your surroundings, you'll miss so much. And one of my techniques, and y'all have this technique too, is I'll just stop and start taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
99 times out of 100 that doesn't pay off, but it has paid off a few times. We were up in Macon County. Tim, Robert, Effler, George, and I, and had done a day of squatching there in the mountains up there, and we were finished. And we were walking back to where we parked the vehicles off the dirt road, and I noticed in the woods at the junction of two dirt roads, it looked like a classic military ambush. We got to looking at it, and it looked like it was constructed skillfully, but not so much like men or women. And two of the guys were kind of talking in the background. I think it was George and Tim. And suddenly they saw me. And I started taking pictures. And sure enough, maybe 50 meters away at the most, there was one watching us. They watched us come in. I mean, let's face it, they watched us come in. They kept their eyes on us the whole time we were in their house, because the woods is their house, and they watched us leave. And if you're not an experienced investigator, and y'all can all attest to this, you will usually miss some of the most important things by thinking that you're going to get to see a full-grown squatch step out of the woods and wave at you, when in fact they are background noise, and they choose to be background noise.
Yep.
In the shadows.
it all boils down to, you hear people that say, well, I've hunted those woods for 35 years and I've never seen no Bigfoot in it. Well, buddy, that's because you wasn't looking for one. You wasn't paying attention to your surroundings. You were in there, you were looking for deer and, you know, whatever you were hunting, but you wasn't looking for Sasquatch. And it's not just something, it's something that you have to train your eyes for. And I keep using this reference of squirrel hunting. Okay. When you're in the woods, when you're in the woods and you're looking for a Bigfoot, you've got to be the best damn squirrel hunter in those woods. Because squirrels are so small and you have to look for movement. You know, so you're sitting there, you're being quiet and you're scanning the woods and you're looking for movement. Sometimes chipmunks will make you jump up off the log that you're sitting on. But you have to look for movement. That's like that one video that I sent Robert Effler when we were in there in Martin Groves's kill site. Well, his
Attack site.
Attack site. I'm sorry. Thank you. When we were in there, and I sent that video to Robert, and he calls me right back. He's like, Mike, you have movement over your left shoulder. So we went back to the video, and lo and behold, we seen something moving. And come to find out, after going deep into it, it was the foot of a Sasquatch that moved, and it was behind these tree branches and stuff. But there was a foot that moved in that video, and he picked that up from that video, looking over my shoulder. He seen it move. So we went back to the video, and I said, I think I have pictures, bad pictures. But you see the shadow of it right there? Its foot is right there just below the center left of the screen. And that moved in that video. But my wife got photos of that same Sasquatch from behind that day, because you said you got to stop and take pictures. Well, that's my wife Cindy's, and Jerry, you haven't got to meet her yet. That's her job. All she does is take photos. She's got the big Nikon camera, and she's got, this is a 200 millimeter. No, this is a 300 millimeter, and I've got the bigger lens for it too. But she just goes around, she's taking photos. That's her job. Well, she got that photo.
Wow.
And that's the backside of this Sasquatch looking at me. And in my video, and it's on the channel, in my video, you hear the damn thing knock right beside of me. It probably wasn't 50, 60 foot from me. And she takes that video. I'm walking that dry creek bed. I'm walking a game trail because I like to walk game trails. And she got that. Yeah. I mean, is it a blob squatch photo? Yeah. Can't really see much definition in it. But that damn photo, if you can see from center screen, if you go straight up, just barely a little bit, you can see that in there. If I switch between those two photos, it lets you see it. If you look center screen, and when I pop this up, it's straight back there. But I mean, you know, can I prove that was a Sasquatch? No, but I know it was. We have video of its foot moving. Did you get it? Did you get it, Doug?
Yes, I did. It was a son of a bitch, but I got her done.
Awesome.
Good job.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you got it fixed, because Trisha's been sitting here looking at prices for pistols. She's about ready to get your ass if you didn't fix it.
500,000, 500,000.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Bigfoot gear, Sasquatch gear. No, I'm just kidding. No, I would never.
I swear, sir, Sasquatch, Bigfoot popped out from behind a tree and busted a cap in his ass in the middle of the fucking woods.
I could never. I'm not like that. I really do love Doug. No, sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah,
when
Doug's-
we're out in the woods, he just does.
But I'm saying, you know, it's these photos, Jerry. You're talking about your white Sasquatch photo and stuff like that. You know, I I remember seeing that photo. I don't know why I don't have it. Maybe the government's already deleted it. But which is a possibility. But I mean, you remember looking at this one. Trisha's photo from West Virginia.
Oh, yeah, that's the first picture you ever sent me.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's from back there, so when you blow it up, yeah, you're going to get a grainy freaking Sasquatch photo. I mean, there ain't nothing you can do about that. We don't have Hollywood style size cameras and video equipment and all this shit and fucking telescopes hooked to cameras and somebody screaming out, "Hey, Sasquatch, wait, let me get this picture." It don't work like that.
You know what? Mark has told everybody hi in this room, including you, but has not once told me hi. I see how it is, Mark.
He doesn't care about you no more, Trisha.
You're not important anymore.
No.
Did I see Mike to the chat too?
Yeah,
Yep,
Mike Smith is in here.
That-
I don't know if he's still in here or not. But hello, Mike.
What's going on, Mike? I really, really valued the totality of my experience at the LBL that we had. But getting to meet all of y'all and getting to meet Mike and Mark and certainly Martin Groves. As a matter of fact, I added something to my background stuff here in his honor. You see the red kerosene lantern?
Yeah.
That's in honor of my Uncle Bubba, Martin Groves.
There you go.
But that was the most incredible part of it. The stuff, the weirdness, the stuff we've heard, tracks, all that. But getting to meet everybody, that was the best part of it. And I can't wait to get back there.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
It's very
I will be
addicting.
coming there next month. I will be there next month. We were waiting to announce it, but I'll be there next month. I'm coming to that brewery thing that they're having, and somebody owes me a beer for damn sure. And then we're going to do some investigating.
Wait, that's my birthday weekend. Well, technically, they owe me a beer.
Yeah.
No, I chose like my kids are like, "Mom, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Don't make plans because I'm going to the LBL."
That's dedication.
So,
You know,
next you go with
you know,
me.
You know, a lot of people talk a lot of stuff, but I can tell you what, that girl right there is dedicated. She spends every weekend in the LBL. Every weekend. Sometimes 16, 18 hours a day.
Yeah,
It's like they walk poor Andy to death. Andy's a chubby guy like me. And well, he might be a little bigger than me. I'm not sure.
No, sir.
Oh, come on now.
No.
Okay, well maybe you're not, but okay. But anyway,
I used to be.
by the time she's done with you, you're gonna be skinny as a rail. You're gonna be about JC size.
That's fine too.
Yep.
I tell you what,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
and
have it any other way though.
eventually I
You got
will.
books out there making noise, Gary?
Wait, what?
1 second. Give me 1 second. I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's something, you come back and get your phone. Listen, Jerry can walk outside of his house and sit still in 10 fucking minutes. He'll whoops and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I've
he's
been
the
following him on TikTok forever.
Yeah,
first
he's
story he
pretty
told
funny.
me. The first he told me was about his wife. I couldn't help but to. He was like, "I like to aggravate her," but the story about his wife and the rock being through, I couldn't help but to giggle. I loved that story when he told me that. But eventually, I'll get to go, to some other prank. Now I'm so attracted to the LBL, and because I know what's in there, and we just went a few weeks ago and hung out with Mark and Mike and Martin Groves, a few other, and Randy Brooks and a few other ones, and we had the best time with the Pathfinders. That was something very fun to do. I can't wait to do it again. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to go to the next one because my daughter will be at regionals, and I don't want to miss our regionals wrestling meet. But I do enjoy going to the LBL a lot. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like my therapy. Going and looking for these things, looking for the signs. Because that's another important thing. There's a lot of people that go into the woods watching, and they don't even know what the signs of these things are. They don't know about the X's or the bent broke trees or, you know.
They watch a YouTube video and they become experts. And you can't do that. You can't do that. That's how you get yourself killed out there. If the Sasquatch don't get you, then something else will. A bear or something like that, you know. And let me tell you, black bears might be cute and fuzzy, but those are mean little bastards. If you get one that's got a cub with it, or you get one that's late winter that's not in hibernation, that son of a bitch is hungry and it will get you.
And they're smart too, because I just had one get in our car in Gatlinburg 2 weeks ago.
Open the doors. Well, those are trained bears. Those are circus bears down there.
Must be.
Yeah.
They got in my son's car and ate $30 worth of beef jerky.
What was that? 5 ounces?
I don't know. It was a pretty good sized bag. I don't know how many ounces. About like that.
I only know one other person that puts as much time as Trisha. And I'm not saying anybody, I mean, y'all guys are slackers or anything, but Trisha is dedicated in there. And only one other person I know as dedicated as Trisha right now is Mark Roberts.
And Mike.
And Andy's a second close. Andy's got to work a lot.
Yeah, work.
And I'll tell you, if Andy didn't work, then Trisha and Doug would be in there even more.
I'm telling you what, this Pathfinders group, Dusty, Mark, and those boys, especially Mike, those boys were in there the other day in very cold temperatures. Very cold temperatures. Like they dedicated. Yeah. And
that's what I like about that group too. And Mike, this is your shout out for Pathfinders, is that it is a group of dedicated people. And that's what it takes. It's a whole group of dedicated people that are not making excuses. Hey, my daughter's got a game. My daughter's got something going on. I can't go. And not throwing that at you, Trisha, because I mean, you know, but I'm just saying, you have to be dedicated to what you're going to do, or you're never going to find anything. And you can't be scared to get out of your car. Got to get out of your car.
I'd go every day if I didn't have to work for a living.
Yeah, me too.
Are you going to start buying lottery tickets?
It's okay, because here soon I'll have a second to one, and I will be in there every day that my husband's at work. That's where I will until he gets off.
Yeah, I'm going to have to install a damn tracker on her so I can. I mean, I track her by her phone, but her phone's always dead. Oh yeah, Todd said if he didn't work, that Jerry'd get tired of seeing you.
Yeah, Todd. No, I'm not going to get tired of seeing the wood booger. Todd Landers. No.
Okay, I've got a question.
Go ahead.
So while you were in the LBL, like filming that movie, what was like the most interesting thing what stood out to you the most while you were there?
The first night and each night thereafter, but especially the first night, there was the sound of, it wasn't an owl. It was clearly a creature mimicking an owl, because the real owls that were off on the other side of that bay, they would call and answer each other. But when up there on that hill near that cemetery, we was getting that owl mimicry, and the other owls wouldn't answer. And I got up at about 3 a.m., had to go outside
I'll be right back.
Out in the total dark, and that thing let out one of those yells. And I tell you what, that put me up on that put the hairs up on the back of my neck. And it was the nighttime feel of the place. And it was the finding the fresh tracks down by the bay that wasn't there the day before, that was made, at night while we sleep or while we slept. There was the experiences up there at Mount Pleasant Cemetery in those old ruins up there. Where Edler got sick.
Yeah.
Spiritual energy to it. But it's really the total experience. But the thing that stands out the most is that booger yelling in the night. And that first night, it went all night.
Wow. Yeah, that Mount Pleasant Cemetery, I had experience there September 14th. Right there by that Andrew Smith, I think his name's Andrew Smith Jackson or Andrew Jackson Smith, one of them. I could have it backwards, but I know it was Andrew Jackson. I had some like blow in my ear and it clogged my ear for a couple weeks, and then we noticed there was a scratch on the inside of it, and right before that happened, I caught something moving. And this is before I ever knew about the dog man. Okay, because like we had been talking about it, I'm gonna be honest, I never believed at all. And I saw something blind of us behind that closed gate. And then my daughter goes, "Mom, I found this grave." So I followed her in the exact path she was walking. And I get to that grave and so is in my ear, clogs anything out of that ear. It like heightened the sound in my right ear. It sounded Jason's 5 foot, a 5 foot, 100-pound daughter was walking like a 250-pound man. And that cemetery gets me every time I go up in there. We went back in there to for our little expedition when my dad came in, and I just didn't feel comfortable being there. I didn't say a lot. I felt uneasy, really uneasy just talking about it because I've never experienced anything like that.
Now, Jerry, if you didn't pick up on it, something important about one thing that she said. She mentioned that grave. Okay, do you recognize the name of that grave?
Yeah, that was the grave that was putting off the strange spiritual energy the day that we was up there. That's the Medal of Honor one.
Yeah, and it was someone had went in there and messed it all up. Now, another funny thing of it is, Steve Calsey, correct? He was on our show last week, Steve Calsey. He's the author of the LBL Massacre book, okay? Just out of the blue, he mentioned that grave in that cemetery.
Yep.
Okay? So there's something about that grave, and I don't want to sound weirdo or anything, but there's something about that grave. And I don't know.
And when I was in there in September, that grave wasn't destroyed. It wasn't messed up. Nothing had been done to it. So you guys were in there in November?
I really wish that we had some paranormal friends that had night vision that could go in there and investigate that grave. I don't know. Do you know of anybody, any paranormal night vision friends, Tricia?
I know somebody. I'd be willing to go with them because I would like to know what exactly happened to me at the cemetery because it.
No, Mark said if it's fucking with my ear, I ain't going.
I'm telling you, that really had me like shook up. I remember when I called and talked to you, and you were like, we've got to, document this. You need to get out and talk about it. And I'm like, I don't think I can.
That's our first show. We went straight to it.
He was like, Trish, if you're going to do this line of work, when these things happen, you need to talk about it because you're going to forget about it. So it took me a few hours to calm down, and it made me very aggressive to everybody. It made me aggressive towards my kids. It made me aggressive towards my husband. It made me mean, real mean. I didn't feel right. I still don't feel right about it. I've only been to that cemetery one other time since then, and that was with my dad, and that's because he forced my hand to go back up in there. So I went, but I haven't been back to it since.
Yeah, I mean it's some crazy stuff happened in there. But hey, Jerry, back to this picture again, okay? I want you to look at this. What number would you pick?
I would pick 11.
You know what? That's the number that I picked too. Was 11. And I can prove that I picked 11 because I posted this on our Monsters Unleashed Facebook page, and I picked 11 and 16, but 16 was Mark at the time. But 11's what I saw also.
Yeah.
Donna, what do you think?
Well, actually, 16, the real 16 that you have there, and 11.
Yeah, those are two very similar with the head shapes and the width of the face and stuff.
And one. I've seen a one.
Yeah, but that just goes to show that they look different.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't all look.
And these are all sketches that someone has drew of Sasquatch that they have seen, they've identified. So I like that picture. I like throwing that out there, telling me, hey, which one did you see?
Yeah, that's good chart. Of the 3 times that I've got a clear look at a creature, 2 of them were definitely looked like number 11. One that my son and I saw that was only about 5 feet tall did not have the same face or really even the same shape to it. But it was clearly a booger. I don't know if it was young and not developed, and it made it look different. But the first
baby gorillas don't have the concave head either when they're a baby. They grow into their cranium. Their cranium grows, and that's where they get the concave head and stuff like that. So I mean, it makes sense that maybe an adolescent would look different.
Yeah.
But we have Josh Wallace in our chat right now. And he's been going in there and doing some investigations in the LBL by himself. Trisha's offered to go in with him and stuff like that. And we're really worried about Josh because Josh goes into some pretty damn dangerous places completely by himself, including the massacre site. The attack site, Martin Grove's attack site.
I just interviewed Josh. It's been about a month ago. I interviewed him. He had an encounter in Rushing Creek, and that's on our list. We're going to investigate it. We want Josh to come with us while we investigate it. But he's taking some time for exploring because he wants to figure out things on his own now. So I'm all for that. Hopefully we can get him with us going to Rushing and do a night investigation.
Yeah, Josh, you could join up the Pathfinders. That's a good team right there that will be there for you if you need them. But yeah, I mean, that picture, those pictures, I'd be interested to. I think I'm going to start using that, and every guest that I get from here on out that's had a Sasquatch sighting, I'm going to ask them which one did they see, and we'll take a poll on it. And see what they choose, because I bet you a lot of them choose 11.
Yeah,
I bet a lot of them. Well, let me throw this out there again real quick. We're going to be at the West Virginia Bigfoot Festival, October the 9th through the 12th in Summersville, West Virginia, and I invite everyone that can to come on out and see us. And we'll have a bunch of Monsters Unleashed shirts and some hats. We'll have some of my books that I wrote. I've got 4 books here. Even got kids' books, Sneaky Sasquatch series, and everything. They're good books, and I'm not just saying that because I wrote them. I might be a little biased, but they are actually good books, and everybody that's purchased them and actually read them, they like them.
Yeah.
So I gave a set to my boss that's never really ever been around Sasquatch, and for Christmas I gave him a set, and he freaking flipped over. He loved them. So, but yeah, we're going to be there. And another good book people might want to throw out there. I'm gonna throw another one out there, the LBL Massacre, Steve Causey. You can get that on Amazon too. We've been reading it. I bought it, and we've been reading it, and it's a good book. It's a really good book, very informative. So, do you have that one, Jerry?
I don't. I do not have that one. I need to have it.
Yeah, it's like $15 for the paperback, and it's well worth it. Well worth it.
I plan to dedicate a lot of my reading, where possible, in the near future to the LBL. I read Martin's book, The Devil's Backbone, and then I read it again. I need to get that book because I want to learn. I want to learn about this place. I wish I wasn't so far away. Because Tricia, you would probably get tired of seeing me sometimes.
Never.
But that's a pretty long.
You know, Jerry, you said you read Martin's book, and you just said that you wished that you wasn't that far. And in the first chapter of Martin's, is it his third book, Tricia?
Depends on what you're talking about.
He says, and I think it's the third book, he says that the LBL calls you back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't be more true, because here I am, I'm almost 9 hours away, and I hear it calling me every day. And it kills me that I can't be in there. And I don't know what it is. And I think that's why all of these people that investigate the LBL, they just can't let it go. You look how long Martin's been doing it. You look at Martin that had that encounter, a face-to-face encounter with a dog man that tried to kill him, and he still goes in there. You know, he still goes in there. He'll sleep in his damn pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Tell you what, I can attest to some of that. My wife has took me to LBL for years, just took me out there, helping me look for stuff, showing me around. She knows it like the back of her head. But she caught something in a camera, and now, I mean, she's wanting to go more than I do. I mean, she's watching videos, she's researching, she's doing her best to get up to speed on things, because I was always the one doing the investigating and researching. She never did any of that. And now she is really coming a long ways with it, and I'm so proud of her for doing that. For somebody that's only been doing this a couple of months now with me, she's really gotten the bug. I mean, I can't keep her out of there.
My wife is the same way, man. She got those photos, and like, she's hooked. She's hooked on it and stuff. I could not go in there without her. It's gonna be something else. I can't wait to go there next month. Really can't. So
it's crazy how once you get a little bit of that in you, I just think it stays with you, and you just can't stop it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think that certain areas, the LBL, I definitely feel that, what y'all are saying with, like, I'm being called back. There's a few other areas that I feel called back to. There's a couple of spots here in the woods near me that, I mean, I will be laying in bed at night and think about going there. And it reminds me, I've heard other stories of folks, even just eyewitnesses, that had an encounter who felt like they were being called back. Most recently, a couple months ago, a fellow reached out to me, and he's a self-described lifelong technology geek. He grew up near Richmond, Virginia, a city boy, never spent any time in the woods. He and his wife moved to Hickory, North Carolina, and he's a technology guy. He's in the tech industry. So he drove to Rutherfordton in Rutherford County, North Carolina, and on his way back home, he had to skirt the western end of the South Mountains and then kind of start veering northeast. And he was on a road there near the South Mountains, and he had a roadside encounter. He was certainly terrified by it, but at the same time, even in the moment, he said he was so caught up in it, he didn't stop his car. But as he drove closer to the creature, he said the car was slowing down, and he had to keep himself from stopping. But just as he passed the creature, it turned and looked at him. And he has nightmares about it, and a lot of negative emotions attached to this. But he said he feels drawn back to the spot, and just to scratch that itch, he'll get in his car and drive there. And he said he feels drawn pulling his car over and going in those woods. And I told him, don't do that by yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to go in those woods, we'll get some folks who will go in there with you. But it's amazing that so many people feel that.
Well, once you have an experience, no matter how brief it may be, your brain automatically triggers that, hey, I'm really not alone in this world. There's other things that we have no idea or understanding of. And I think that just triggers you into being that way. At least that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it does call you. And Martin Groves couldn't have said it any better in his book. When I read that, I'm like, man, that's such a true statement. And well, Josh, you be careful camping in there tonight. He's camping in the northern LBL.
Yeah, we'll come see him tomorrow.
Yeah, I just texted him and said, hey, tomorrow me and my team will be in there and providing lunch for our team. You're more than welcome to join up, at least talk, eat, whatever you want to do. You can come out with us, or you can just come eat and talk and adventure on by yourself if you want, whatever you're comfortable with. But we had a good time talking to Josh when we interviewed him. And he's on like that skeptic fence, so he's out doing his own investigations. He doesn't want anybody interfering with him. He wants to do on his own, to find these things on his own. And I've got respect for that, you know. So he's a great guy. He has a pretty awesome cast by himself, and I believe he said it was verified by Jeff Meldrum. Yeah, I believe that's who he said it was verified. That's what I thought right before he died. Rest in peace, Jeff Meldrum. So Josh is he's a really good guy, and his encounter, it was pretty crazy. So I'm excited to go down in there to where he camped and investigate that. So you be safe out there, Josh. I don't hear from you for weeks, and it worries me. But I love going to the LBL. I kind of get sad when I leave. I just kind of like shut down and just lean my head against the window. I'm like, is it Sunday again yet? And Sunday's like my free day where I can go because my daughter's wrestling schedule right now. But that's almost over with. And then I'll be in there all weekend long. So, I wonder if he knows if he's muted again.
I'm sorry, I was looking at this video. I found that orb video and I was looking at it.
Oh. Do you have anything to say, Doug?
No, everybody pretty much nailed everything on the head. Like, honestly, even with me, like, I didn't truly start investigating until, like, I started going to the LBO with you. And, like, it's like every week, every time we go in there, I'm always like, what are we going to find? Like, are we going to get any, like...
We don't experience things every week.
No.
That we go in there. There's been a few weeks that we went in there and have not found anything but maybe some prints and some signs and stuff. But here lately, after dark, we've been catching like a lot of audio and some weird things happening. Last weekend, we were at Downs 2 Cemetery, and we had a girl that wanted to come out with us. So, you know, I allowed her to come out with us, and We were up there, and she's into the paranormal side. She, since a child, she's experienced ghosts, spirits, and all that. So I took her up to Downsview Cemetery, and I showed her this tree that had like a back of a chair wedged up in it. And to me, the knot on the tree looked like horns, like goat horns. And she was walking around and with the spirit talker anymore, but she wanted to, so I let. And it got dark, and Andy's wife kept hearing something that sounded like a pig, but she couldn't see it. And then she said she saw something move like very fast. So I grabbed my thermal and I go down in there, and I didn't catch anything on thermal, but I kept hearing something heavy, like branches breaking. And I sat there for a minute, and then I heard like a humming noise, and I backed up out of there, and I told Doug and Andy, I said, that's the same humming noise I heard before something hit me when I was down at this ditch in the LBL. And we talked about it, and I was just looking around for any like new prints or anything, and his friend was continuing to talk to the spirit talker, and it kept saying things, and I don't remember what all it said because I was too focused, because there was a lot of like noises coming around us, and I heard something that sounded like it was running towards us. And I told him, I think there's something trying to bluff charge us. So he walks down there, didn't see anything. The noise just stopped. And we continue just sitting there talking about what we were hearing. The spirit talker told his friend that it said, shh, it said, shh, and listen. So we all got quiet, and we started listening. And on in front of us, tree line, there was moving, and we kept seeing what looked like eye shine, and it'd be in one area, and then it would move to the right, and we could see like the branches moving. And this is crazy, because we did a night, we were with Night Vision Paranormal when we got this house and a bunch of stuff on the Ovilus, but I don't think we ever saw like anything moving. And it got so intense that Andy goes, all right, get in the vehicles, we're leaving. So we ended up leaving because it got really scary, really, really scary. And my thermal, it was fully charged. It just dies. I get it out, turn it on, and it showed a full battery. The next thing you know, it cuts off.
Little friends to stay off all of it, to help everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm like Doug. Every time I leave here on Sunday morning, I'm like, what are we going to do today? What are we going to find today? Are we going to get anything today? It's just crazy, because more times than not now, we do find something.
Catch you later, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See you, Mark.
It was like that time, like right whenever I was in the back getting like another, what was it?
You were another battery for the GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you was like, hey, close the back of the Jeep, I'm like, okay. I closed up the back of the Jeep. As soon as the door clicked, it's almost like something like grabbed into my back, grabbed my spine, and I just got that chill going straight up my back.
When we left, he said he felt his heart drop into his stomach. Now, he's been in there with us several times now. He's been a skeptic all along. And that's the first time I've ever like heard him scared and heard him say, my heart dropped to my stomach. So I don't know what was in there. That graveyard, I do not believe it's a Sasquatch. Could be a dog man, but I believe it's something far more sinister in that cemetery.
Another thing that is completely off topic. That night, my four-wheel drive would not lock in for anything. Wouldn't lock in, period. It's perfect. I used it twice today. Nothing's wrong with it.
Ford.
Yeah, quit hating.
But that's what caught me off guard was when Doug said, we left, we were almost home, and he goes, "Hey, I need to tell you something." And I'm like, "Okay, what?" And he goes, "Remember when I was behind the Jeep getting a new battery and you yelled at me and told me to shut the hitch of the Jeep?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "It felt like something grabbed my spine and twisted, and I felt like my heart dropped to my stomach." And I'm like, "Why didn't you say something while we were there? We
From
would
now
have."
on, you call when it happens.
I think it worried him because he saw what had happened to me at that ditch and how it affected me that day and the day after, that he didn't want to say anything because he knew I would want to stay. And he could have been worried. I can't speak for him. That's on him. But that's just what because I would have stayed. I told you the next day, "Man, we shouldn't have left. We should have stayed." We
Yep.
should have stayed.
Well, even now you're saying like we got
For
to.
me, it's a security issue. I feel like I gotta watch the pack, and when I get uncomfortable, I'm like, eh. Some of it is that I'm new to actually investigating like this, so I may be a little gun shy.
I'm sensitive. First off, I'm never going to put my team in any danger. And I'm sensitive when it comes to these things. If I get a gut-wrenching feeling that's telling me to leave, we're leaving. And I didn't quite get that night just yet. Do I think it was on its a way of, getting to that point? Yes, I do. I don't know. But there was something weird going on up in there. I can't wait till he comes back down. I'd like to go back up in there in the night again, if you're all right with that, Dad, because there's
Yep.
that's crazy.
Well, we're going at a little over 2 hours now, and this is Jerry's second show tonight. I guess it might even be Jerry's third. He's a baller, I tell you. He'll do these shows. Second one, but so Jerry, tell us where everybody can find you.
You can find me on Facebook, Jerry Millwood Jr., and I'm going to accept friends until they say that I'm at my limit, whatever that limit is, because making connections is that, let's face it, it's a big deal, and I enjoy meeting new people. You can find me on TikTok at J.R.Millwood, and on YouTube, my channel is called Rebels Dark Tales of Appalachia. I couldn't tell you what my Instagram handle is, but whatever I put on Instagram shows up on Facebook.
Okay. And Miss Jen, can you tell them where they can find your show at?
Creepy Culture on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, X, all the things are Creepy Culture. Creepy
She's got a
Culture.
good show. Everybody should tune in on that.
Thank you.
But yeah, I guess we'll call it right there. And guys, if you would stay in the green room, and I will see you here in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
They're out there in the dark, waiting for us. Monsters on land. Out where the pine roots twist and bleed, footsteps shake the ground beneath. Eyes in the tree line glowing red, whispers say the lost ain't dead. Steel nerves, cameras rolling hot, chasing the truth that the world forgot. Fears our few, we hunt the sound. Ain't no turning back when the sun goes down. We are the shadows that you can't erase. Storm through the night with a wild-eyed grace. Truth on the edge and our souls released. This is monster. fever dreams. Something moves by the river bend. You can pray, but it ain't your friend. Steel boots in the muddy ground, C&G gear in the packs around. Rockin' Randy on the call tonight while Monster Mike lights up the fire. We are the shadows that you can't erase. Storm through the night with a wild-eyed grace. Truth on the edge and our souls released. This is Monsters Unleashed. Yeah, this is Monsters Unleashed. Slower, eerie build, screams in the holler, howls through the trees. You don't run from the darkness, you make it We are the legends, we are the beasts, rising from the south like a ghost set free. From the LBL to the Carolina peaks, this is Monsters Unleashed. Yeah. Where we're Monsters Unleashed. Lights out, cameras rolling, the hunt never ends. Monsters Unleashed.